that's fairly normal. Like once you think about what you're doing, you're not in the flow anymore.
Yeah, of course. It's funny because I catch myself doing it. It's one of those things, I've said plenty of times, and throughout my life too, because I've been told it throughout my life, even since I was ever a little kid. Too smart for your own good as a phrase been used often for me. And for me, when I think about it, it's like one of those situations again, because like I recognize it as it's happening, but I still can't stop it. So I think of it in those terms. It's like I'm smart enough to realize what's going on, but I'm still too dumb to do anything about it. I don't stop myself. But anyway, so we spent, a lot of the first hour talking about Steam It. Which is funny. You made a remark off the air about, you're surprised Michael hasn't burst in yet, because we've been talking about Steam It so long. I don't think he listens anymore. And even if he does, then even when he does the next day, I think he's listening to the digest. So, he may not even catch most of this conversation. But, I was with him for a long time, as we talked about. I was anti-Steam It, and I've since seen the light. But we touched on a couple of, we touched on because Steam It has the Steam currency that's attached to it too, but we touched on that, some other cryptocurrency stuff in the first hour, mainly about the, talking about the one Bitcoin millionaire kid, teenager, I guess he's 19, who's trying to revolutionize the college world, which was kind of cool. But there's a whole bunch of other things going on in the crypto world, and that had become our routine on Sunday nights when it was the two of us and Shane for a while. We were doing like the crypto hour every Sunday, and we've gotten away from that with the holidays and not doing shows for a little bit, and then you and I doing the New Year's Eve show last week. So I figure we can get into some of this stuff, especially because, we were talking off the air. Both of us are so excited, besides the whole Steam It thing that we were talking about in the first hour, just in general with the crypto world, because, we weren't early adopters like a lot of, like some of our friends were. Neither of us are these Bitcoin or crypto millionaires and billionaires that we may know or that we see talked about and stuff. I know neither of us are in that position. So yeah. It's just exciting times when we can kind of get in on like or try to get onto the ground floor of some things. And, it does seem like, the crypto markets, I mean, they've obviously continuously been volatile this entire time because everything's still trying to find its footing. And we're still, we were talking in the first hour about how it's, not too late because it's still so early in this game. And, there's still like, it's just like the potential is insane. And, we're just scratching the surface of it. But there are, every day there's more and more people getting into the crypto world, and every day there's more and more people now, whether they have any knowledge whatsoever, like whether they're coming from the stock market world or stuff like that, or they're just coming into this trying to make some money or trying to get rich quick or whatever, and have absolutely no knowledge of economic systems or how any of this stuff would work, even theoretically. All these people are coming in, and they're, so a lot of different coins, people are scratching their head as to like why they're going up. Like, we were talking about during the break, like Bitcoin, for instance, the, joke coin that Michael created a couple of years ago that he has since dumped the project off to somebody else because he didn't want the headache of it anymore. And we had talked about recently because it had laid dormant at, bouncing between 2 and 4 cents for like, ever, it seemed. And then I had announced recently that I was finally going to get rid of my Bitcoin, and I did as I got on one of the exchanges and tried to help bump the price up a little bit, and I got it all the way up to like 6.5, 7 cents, I think. When all of mine were finally all of mine ended up finally being bought or exchanged rather for Bitcoin. And I was kind of happy with myself because, I had originally mined for a couple of weeks with my crappy little laptops. So I was, wasn't using that much energy, but I was also getting a heck of a lot of Bitcoins because I got to be in the original pre-mine. And then in the, in the very early goings when like nobody was mining it, even my crappy little thing could still get me like 100 or so bips a day. So I used it, and then I purchased some. I think I spent like $60 on like 10, 12, whatever thousand it was Bitcoins. So I didn't invest a lot in it. So even selling out at 6, 7 cents, I got like whatever that was. It was a decent return on what I had spent originally, but now it's like almost tripled at this point. Beyond that,
that's frustrating.
Well, yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, I said it as soon as it happened. I said, watch, the price is going to go up, and sure enough, it did.
Yeah, I was sitting in, I think I was the one who saw it, because I sent it to Michael, and he hadn't seen it yet, and he was like, what? When it was like 15, because I was sitting in the doctor's office scrolling through, Coin Market Cap, and I was like, what? Because it was they have this, on the app I have, they have these two lists, and it was, one's heroes and the other one's zeros, and it's, the best and the worst performers of the day, and I saw Bitcoin, and I had to do a double take.
Yeah, well, and it's gone up from there. Like I said, it's been riding just under 20. It's like right now on Crypto Compare right now it says 0.1988. So almost 20 cents. And we were discussing that during the break, and I really think that it's one of those situations that, because I haven't heard anything else of it. I mean, a couple of months ago when I first went to go look for my Bitcoins that I'd kind of forgotten about, I went on to the Bitcoin Talk forum and went to the Bitcoin one, and was reading it, and it was like people were still posting there, at least like a handful of posts a week or stuff, but it seemed like only one of the devs was responding, and it was like one of the newest devs, and they didn't really have any concrete answers about things about what was coming up or stuff like that. And Michael had said that he thought the devs had completely abandoned the project. But I don't think they had completely abandoned it, but I haven't heard any news. I really think that, this is one of those situations where a lot of newcomers are coming in and trying to find the next big thing. And like I said, whether they have any working knowledge of how the crypto world would work, or even how the stock market world would work, or anything like that, or whether they're complete idiots, people are just getting in and going, well, this is only worth this much money. I can get this much, I can get however many of them for $1. Like, that's their type of thinking. And if it goes up, so I can see a lot of people getting involved in that. I mean,
I've already been doing that with a couple coins.
Well, yeah, I mean, at its core, even though Bitcoin originally was a joke, I mean, it was using the crypto note code, which is the more secure code than what Bitcoin uses. It's what Monero uses. What are some of the other ones? And I'm going to completely draw a blank now. But it's
Monero is the only big privacy one I know of like that.
Well, there's other ones that are offshoots of it, I think. It's not. Pivx is the Dash offshoot, right? Or is that the Monero offshoot? One of those. There's one of them that's a Monero offshoot that uses it too. But talking about lesser value coins, at least at the current moment, but that are also in that code. You're talking about taking flyers on certain things. Like Sumo Coin is one I recently became introduced to. That's another one I think is definitely, I believe, a Monero clone. And it just offers more ring signatures than Monero does, supposedly more secure, whatever. But that's the one that's been, all of a sudden seeing a huge surge. It was like up to like $10 the other day, after normally sitting, I guess, around 4 or 5, because it's back down around. Well, no, actually, now looking at it, it's about $8. But it was back around $4 or $5 yesterday. Stuff like that. So I think that has a lot to do with it with Bitcoin, because it is so cheap that a lot of people, because it was only a week ago that, like I said, it was down around 7 cents was the highest it got when I sold out of all mine.
Yeah, there was this one. So I saw when I was looking through that Heroes and Zeros app, I saw this one that was like rising out of nowhere, and it was called Anime Coin, right? So I put like $2 into it, and I got like 24,000 of them or something like that. And then it shot up like 800% in the past week.
Wow.
And the devs haven't touched it in like 3 years. 4 now.
Wow. Worms.
You and the hamster in your brain are listening to Freedom Fiends with Michael Dean and his weird friends.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
What would your life be like if you woke up each morning with new vitality, feeling better than you have in years, and you noticed a difference in your sleeping patterns, blood sugar levels, and had a sense of well-being overall? There's something that is changing thousands of people's lives, and you could be one of them. It's called Heart and Body Extract. Sharon Harris, co-creator of Heart and Body Extract, talks about the positive effects of Heart and Body Extract.
What happens with the formula Heart and Body Extract is it's giving the body the necessary vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes, and phytonutrients so the body will heal itself. And yes, the body does have the ability to balance blood pressure, balance cholesterol, clean and unclog the arteries. It can also work on balancing the circulation for diabetics. So the body is an amazing thing. It simply needs some help so it has the tools to heal itself.
Heart and Body Extract gets results. To order your 2-month supply, call now, toll-free at 866-295-5305. Order online at hbextract.com.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original, most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
LRN.FM. Hey, I'm LRN.FM Program Director Ian Freeman. If you're listening to our free-to-air satellite feed in North or Central America, heads up! We've been on the same channel on the Galaxy 19 satellite since 2010, but now our satellite provider is moving us to a new channel on a different transponder. The original channel will stay on the air until the end of February to give you time to transition without any loss of service, so don't delay. I've posted the new channel details at sat.lrn.fm, but in case you're listening with no internet access, if you do a blind scan on your receiver, you should see the new channel at transponder 12, 11,936 megahertz, horizontal polarization, symbol rate 20,000, FEC 3/4. All that information is at sat.lrn.fm, as well as a link to our Patreon where you can support our channels for just $2 a month. Visit sat.lrn.fm for more information about our international satellite channels, and thanks for listening to LRN.fm.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
As had become our custom here on Sunday night, we're back to talking about crypto for the second hour here. So we were talking about the recent rise of Bitcoin, which of course just happened to coincide with me dumping all of my Bitcoin. You're welcome, everybody who's out there right now. Paul Gordon, I know especially, keeps very proudly talking about how he's hodling his Bitcoin. Because Paul and I, Paul's a big Fiend fan, and he's a good friend of mine. Actually, I've had him on my show a bunch of times, or a few times at least, and got to hang out with him this past year, in Michigan at the Midwest Peace and Liberty Fest. Hope to see him again this year too, and we had like a friendly rivalry going on during the mining days of Bitcoin, where him and I were battling back and forth to see, who was going to have the most bips, with the idea that we never anticipated them being worth anything, but we were both just going to hold them just to see what happened. And I think I ended up having just a little bit more than him at the end, because I let my computer, because I was running two computers at the same time, I think, and I let mine run just a little bit longer than his. And we always joked about it. And when I told him that I was planning on getting rid of it, he was like, I'm just going to keep holding mine. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I think it's just time, and I want to get some other stuff. And then, of course, as soon as it happened, I got messages from him.
Of course.
Reminding me that he still had his. But that's okay. I got, as you and I were talking about earlier, I'm trying to diversify into some other things that currently, there's one in particular that's actually currently around the price of Bitcoin, Electronium. That's actually become a very big one for people to mine. It's actually, especially if you already have a mining rig set up to mine different crypto note currencies like Monero, like my mining rig was set up to do originally. It can easily switch over to run to mine Electronium, or another one which is Sumo Coin, which I believe is a Monero clone, and I think right now is about $7 or something like that. But there's these other coins out there that are still relatively cheap, and in the case of those two, are actually relatively easily mineable. Like I said, especially if you're already set up for it, or if you were planning to, because I know a bunch of people that were planning on trying to still get into like mining Monero at this point, which I think we were talking about this before we started the show. The idea with coins like Monero and other coins were designed to be what's called ASIC resistant, which is they're resistant to the big ASIC miners that people use to mine Bitcoin, which made it impossible to mine for the little guy. Certain cryptocurrencies were designed to get around that, so people wouldn't be able to use those big miners. So everybody there would always be an opportunity for like even the little guy to mine. Even if you were only getting obviously a little, very little payout, at least you'd still be able to technically be in the game. As we were talking about in the first hour with stuff like Steemit and stuff like Patreon. So like you're actually, you're getting in the game by putting it out there and trying to get actually, return for your content type of thing. And especially with Steam, if you don't actually have money to put into cryptos, well, here you have the opportunity to basically get free crypto essentially. That
nice.
type of deal. So there's still opportunities for people to do it with these type of currencies, and that's what I'm doing. I think it's especially with in particular, like I said, if you're already set up to do that, if you look at these other two coins, which currently have been battling back and forth, there's websites designed set up for this. There's one that I like to use called whattomine.com, and you basically just plug in what GPUs you're using, and it kicks back results for all the different types of algorithms that you could use those for, and like what is the most profitable over a 24-hour period for you to mine. And I know some of my friends will have like theirs that are they're advanced enough that they have theirs set up to like automatically switch when the profitability changes and one becomes more profitable. Their miners just seamlessly switch over to the other one.
Awesome.
Yeah, I haven't bothered to do that with mine. Number one, because I just don't. I'm kind of lazy, and because it took me a couple of weeks to finally get mine stable, and now that it finally is for the most part, I don't like to mess with it much. Just when I have to reset it every once in a while to reset my router anyway, so I just wait till that happens. But more on that when we get back. Worms.
You're listening to Freedom Fiends with Michael Dean and his weird friends, tasing you with liberty since 2011. Learn more at freedomfiends.com. Starving in the Company of Beautiful Women is Michael W. Dean's novel from the year 2000. It's entirely fictional.
Allegedly.
Starving in the Company of Beautiful Women is a glorious story about a low-rent post-punk rock star, Cash Newman. Cash Newman is entirely made up.
Not a guarantee.
And is not based on any particular person.
Not a guarantee.
Cash Newman has lots of fun with strange ladies and with the party favors.
Don't try this at home.
And he hangs out with people who commit 3 felonies a page.
But that's none of my business.
It's all in good fun. And at the same time, it's kind of deep. But always spunky. Michael recently updated the book to a much better version. He released it as a paperback and for the first time on Kindle. As with this and all Freedom Fiends related things, please rate and review. Get Starving in the Company of Beautiful Women now on Amazon or at michaelwdean.com.
For entertainment, LRN.FM.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
You can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring Simon to the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait now. Wait a minute.
Holy crap.
Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
Like the sound of the wind.